So, I should probably turn the TV off. So, no, that's not good either. So, should you be scared of the Heroclix meta? Should you get into it? Is that where you should be in the game? Now, I think it's a tough one because if you're playing competitively, you kind of have to because whatever you're gonna use, I mean, you can use whatever you want to, and everything has a chance to beat everything. It's all luck, But basically, if you want to play a good team, you're gonna naturally find yourself going for figures that. Where would we be if I didn't find myself funnier than anybody else does? You're gonna naturally find yourself gravitating towards figures in playing competitive that you'd like that you wouldn't get if you weren't, if you know what I mean. So for example, when me and my dad were playing at home for however many years, we wouldn't have gone anywhere near a super rare of a character we actually liked unless we actually pulled it, which was very rare but happened every now and then. Whereas as soon as I started playing more competitive games, not just because I sort of had more money to spare as it sort of came along, I did start buying into figures that I actually wanted that were more expensive and better. And it's the same basic principle. You'll learn to like figures that other people are using, and you'll start buying into them. You'll realise that certain things would just help your team so well. And that results in non-meta people buying ID cards and resources and all that sort of stuff. You will just naturally find that it will just help whatever team you want to play. It's just the way it is. But should you be worried about it? I mean, Heroclix meta is tough stuff. A lot of it is, there's always something that is incredibly strong. There's never any sort of position where all the meta stuff is pretty good, on a level with each other. But not that being said, there is a lot of meta stuff out there. There's a lot of different things you could use. You can beat anything with anything, as we've established, and there's always going to be stuff that can compete with whatever the best thing is, but there's always going to be a best thing. And right now the Heroclix meta is very tough because you've got Jakeem, you've got Goblin King, errata or no errata, it doesn't make him much less strong, to be fair. You got Goblin King, Jakeem, ID cards, which I personally think are ridiculous. I use them, but I think they are ridiculous. I will not mind seeing the back of them. I do look forward to getting X-Men ID cards, because I've said for a while that we could use them. However, I wasn't expecting to get them this late, and to be honest, I'd rather the whole ordeal just ended. But yeah, you'll find yourself buying ID cards because they're just cheap and easy, and a thing you can use and shot on your team. It's going to be easier now to use things like that because you've got all the objects in Thor and stuff, weapon drop and fast forces, all that sort of stuff. It's available without having to pay much. So I think even the most meta opposed players will start buying stuff, whether it's because it'll just help them or whether it's because they just like the stuff. They'll buy into it eventually. Now, sort of when my locals started, it was around the same time that my friend Dave first got into the game, and at that time the prospect kind of frightened us, and for the first couple of days he was splurging loads of money on stuff and getting loads of stuff that we'd wanted and all that, and it's just part of life. He had the money to spend, he has the will to spend it, and we didn't have the money to spend, and if he wants to do that, then you can't stop him doing that. That's what he does. And Dave's not a bad guy, but I know there's it started off like competitive play on a very rocky start, because everybody didn't really like the fact that we couldn't really afford much, and then other people started investing more in the game to step it up a bit. I did. I certainly did. What are you talking about? I wanted that Book of the Skull anyway, even though I've never read Fear itself. What are you on about? I only ever used that twice, and both times it was at home. What a waste of money that was. Anyway, Dave can use whatever he wants, and you can use whatever you want, and it's rock, paper, scissors. You don't know whether you're going to beat it or not. Like, okay, what was he called? Krang. Krang. He is mad. He was a very strong figure when Justin Seyfert was around. And now Seyfert's gone, he's not bad still. And there's the whole Red Sun Wonder Woman thing, which I love because Red Sun Wonder Woman is one of my favourite figures. And I'm going to replace that with the new Thor Odinson as well, so that's going to be good for more or less the same things. But you can use that on Asgard teams as well. It's got plot abilities and stuff. You've got stuff you'll naturally get in boosters, and it will allow you to be competitive. You'll pull stuff you don't want that you can sell off, and then use that money to get whatever you did want that can be competitive, and so on and so forth. So basically, you don't really need to sort of worry about playing in the meta, because it's going to be some gnarly stuff, and it's going to hurt. But it's like I said in my rookie mistakes video, you don't want to actually get annoyed at the game. You just take it as a learning experience, because, if you play against one meta team once, you can identify weaknesses. You can invest in things that are going to counter it, maybe, if those exist. And stuff like that. And like I say, you are just going to naturally end up with stuff you can play anyway. And, there's more and more things coming out these days, commons and whatnot, that are just brilliant. And like that Mystique that everyone thought was going to be really good and then never actually showed up anywhere. She was just a rare. And it's like in Yu-Gi-Oh! The meta is so expensive and usually so boring as well. Like, it's just, I definitely still wouldn't advise you to just splurge into it for the sake of winning. But it's not as unbalanced as like other game metas, because because it's so dice based, and it depends on the player as well. If you're a better player, you can beat the guy, or depending on how point and click the team is, really, because a lot of the stuff does need, a lot of teams in the past have just been like, move there, attack, move away, Alpha Strike and all that sort of stuff. You don't need any brain power to be able to do it. That is when they're the kind of teams that are ashamed to lose against, if you know that you've played better than the other player. If you know you've tried really hard to get around the team and you lose anyway because it just plays itself, then it's not ideal. But I definitely think there are worse things in the world than the Heroclix meta. At the end of the day, if you enter a tournament, you're probably going to get a prize anyway, because, well, you're at least going to get some participation thing. If you enter a proper sanctioned event with Connexes as prizes and stuff, you're going to get expensive prizes anyway, so I can't see why it matters. And, you basically want to just accept that it's part of the game, get into it as much as you want or can, because you will anyway, and, just see what you manage. You don't need to be afraid of it. And it'll be gone soon anyway. Like, nothing ever stays forever. We've had people stop playing the game just because they don't like people spending loads of money on the game. And, I do get that, because, I don't know, I kind of made my peace with it a long time ago. It's like, it used to really bother me, but now I'm just not bothered at all. Like, you spend what you want to spend, I'll spend what I want to spend, and we'll play what we want to play, and we'll see who wins. And it might just be because, in my locals we don't really have a lot of sanctioned tournaments. We definitely don't have a lot of massive meta players, unless there is like a regionals or something going on, which has only happened twice. So, yeah, it's one of those things you just don't really need to worry about, I suppose. It's going to be hard, but you'll get through it. And you just need to remember that you can beat it. The one thing you need to remember in Clix is that you never need to give up, because I've lost so many games that I was convinced I was going to win because my opponents just turned it around from nothing. And you never know when you're going to be able to do that. and you know it's rare and stuff, but you never know. So just fight it out and do what you can do, and you know it'll all be okay. Thanks for watching this video. If you need some more like rookie tutorials and stuff, check out my other videos. I'm also going to soon start doing a set of keywords that WizKids really like and really don't like, and go through like all the figures and the keywords, talking about how they're really good or really bad, and how they are consistently really good or really bad, and keywords that don't get a lot of support sort of factor in as well, or get too much support factor in as well, but not as much as the actual dials. That is the main thing we're looking for. So again, thank you for watching. Click that subscribe button, and goodbye.